And while the presidential nominees are still trying to sway the battleground states, more than 4 million people have already voted in the state of Florida. And here on the Suncoast, registered voters are casting their ballots in record numbers, either by mail or voting early. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo is joining us live from Sarasota with more on this growing trend. Dwayne.
Well, Scott and Haley, it's only been a week since early voting began, and as you mentioned, we've already seen record numbers, a bit of a spike since 2012. For voters in Sarasota County, it's all about convenience.
Avoid some of the chaos on the last day, and also I just feel voting early assures that I get my vote in.
Not as many crowds, no chance of not being able to vote at the last minute.
A record number of voters exercising their right to vote, says Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections, Kathy Dent. She also points out that 60% of the county's total electorate had already voted in the primary before the polls were opened on Election Day.
So this isn't unusual. The trend is now vote early or vote by mail.
New College political professor Keith Fitzgerald agrees. He says many registered voters around the country are following suit.
Just letting people do it makes it more popular. But even on top of that, where it's been in effect for many years, it's increasing dramatically.
In Sarasota County, there have been more than 48,000 early voters and 66,000 vote-by-mail ballots. And in Manatee County, more than 27,000 people voted early, with more than 57,000 using vote-by-mail. Fitzgerald says early voting also benefits the candidates. It changes how the parties communicate with their base voters. It also enables parties to track their voters to see if they voted.
So the parties, particularly the Democratic Party, shifted a lot of emphasis into trying to encourage people to get into the vote by mail or early vote crowd because they have lower turnout rates than Republicans.
And both agree. The presidential candidates playing a huge part in the turnout as well.
Turnout is driven by candidates and issues. So I definitely believe that the candidates are what's driving the turnout in this election.
I think the passions are running really high. People are anxious to get out there and register their vote.